Good? Good? We good? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. I was a little late on recording, a little late going live. The actual pop-up is a little intimate, right? It's a smaller space. And that's okay because at the end of the day, being an independent brand, being a brand that does things like this to showcase, to connect to people and build those relationships over several months this time rather than the last time, is still a feat to have. And then doing it in Manhattan is obviously expensive. So it's okay if it's smaller, it's okay if it's more intimate, but we're gonna have to switch things up on this live. So what I'm gonna do is not to interrupt anybody while we're in there. I'm gonna do small recordings, show you guys the watches that he has. Most importantly, I wanna go over the automatic series that he has with the NH35 that we know he put on one of his watches, still being 10.75 millimeters. And then we're gonna go over that new Swiss-made movement, the 210, I think, the Salida 210 SW modified. Now, I did ask Alex prior. One thing that I was concerned about with it is it had a screw down crown and it's a manual wind. And usually, normally, as you guys know, on a screw down crown, on a manual wind rather, it usually has a stopper on it, but he did ensure me that it has the slip still for that barrel. So you can screw that down without worrying about breaking that movement altogether. So fantastic things. I want to show you guys exactly what it looks like close up. But again, it is really intimate, as you guys can see, so I don't want to be disrespectful. But what I do want to do is something that I know you guys always check me on in the beginning of the lives is a wrist watch check. So I have my metric retro on the right, of course with the little band on here. And then I have my ISO 245 Miyota 9075 from the Islander, because we know that those guys are friends. And I thought that pairing them together today would be great. And it's got good vibes on it. And you guys know that I did that little modification on the bezel insert and everything else. But yeah, we're out here in the city. I'm super excited regardless. I'm a big fan of Brew, New York brand. I think that web-based brands need a lot of our support, especially in the times of tariffs and everything else. Unfortunately, John is away on business. I did speak with Alex about that. He's moving a lot of parts and making sure he crosses his T's and dots his I's on the next iterations to come, because I think that what Brew is doing now is a rapid expansion, right? We saw him come out with the NH35. And then quickly after, he came out with that Swiss movement. So 10 years in the making, after staying with the Mecha quartz, now moving on, transitioning quickly to automatic movements, of course, we can expect him to do rapid growth at this point. And I think that's what the brand is ready for. And I'll tell you this, I know I'm rambling on, but I'm super excited about this. First class, everything that I received with the watch was first class. From the packaging, from the outside packaging to the watch roll, super supple, as I like to say. Parts really feel mechanical, even though it's a VK68 in there, Mecha quartz. It still interacts at the pushers like a mechanical watch would. And you know that if you were going with a mechanical chrono, that's gonna be super expensive. So I'm okay, and I know that there's some things about having an actual quartz movement, but I got past that. When you get to really enjoy designs like this, and when you're successfully able to have your own design where people notice it and recognize it, I think that's the hardest thing for any brand to come across. So that's super exciting. Anyway, I'm done rambling. We're gonna go inside. I'm gonna take the camera from the camera woman today, and I'm gonna just go by quietly. Like I said, I don't wanna be this loud inside, and I'm gonna show you guys the watches that they have on display from when you walk in. So who we got on here? Oscar's in the building. Michael, what's going on, bro? Sorry, you guys, I'm a little off my regular game. I'm usually doing lives from, you know, the spot. But today we're at the Brew pop-up shop. So Trap Vision 3D's in the building. What's up, Trap? What's going on, bro? I'm gonna try to keep up with chat, guys. But again, I'm gonna have to get a lot quieter once I get inside. But I do appreciate you guys for joining me. So let's look at some watches. Nobody came here to look at my face only. So let's spin this around and go inside. So here we go. They got their lovely staff here. Say hi, guys. My boy Alex. Let's check out the watches. All right, so this is the first one that you see coming in. This is the NH35, right? And we saw John come out with this first, right? Soon after, he came out with the Swiss-made movements. So he's moving very rapidly when it comes to that automatic series, and it's very, very nice. I believe this is the other mechanical as well. Yeah. Here's the deal. Here's what I like about when he went to mechanical on this. He still was at 10.75 in thickness, right? So we had the mega quartz first with the VK68. He went to the NH35, but he kept the thickness, right? Or I should say thinness on the 10.75 millimeters. Michael's wearing his Citizen. What's going on, Michael? I don't know if you caught it, but I got my Islander ISL 245 Miota 9075, and of course, the Brew. Two New Yorks. We got to support our brands in New York. So here is where I was interested to go. I actually purchased one of these watches. I'll show you guys which one I went with. But since I already had the metric, I had to get the retrograph. Both of them are going to be quartz. A little different on the format as far as what's displayed on the subdials, right? But this was also something I was heavily interested in. This chocolate here, fantastic. This almost won me over, but I ended up going on a different route. Blissful Ignorance is in the building. What's up, bro?
It looks great.
Let's check this out. It's the blue colorway. And you guys know that this leather is supple, because Brew only does high quality. And that's the thing, man. Before, he waited 10 years to go this way with the mechanical, right? And I think that was because he wanted to do everything first class to stay in line with all the watches that he had before. But we're gonna see some rapid growth from them very, very soon. Here's another dial. Oscar, you deserve an award, bro. You miss no lives. You miss no lives. Just, you're one of those kids from school that just have 100% attendance.
I'm selfishly picking the Brew before 57.
Check this out. This was another one. This was a different design right here. I liked how busy this was.
I gotta say, I appreciate
Really nice. So which retrograph do you guys think I went with? It's not on the board here, so that should be a major hint. That should be a major hint. But we'll get back to that. Do you mind if I pull them out? All right, cool. Perfect. This, I believe this is the titanium. You can correct me if I'm wrong. This one's also fantastic. I like the orange. The orange really makes it pop. Fantastic. Love this white dial. I'm becoming a sucker of white dials, I'm not gonna lie. White dials are super clean, very interesting. Let me see if I can get you guys on a better angle. This is fantastic though. And I haven't talked about the bracelet, right? So obviously the bracelet is a vintage inspiration. We are getting quick release on here. We are having tooled micro adjustments. That was one of the critiques that I had. We'll get to that. But it is a fantastic bracelet nonetheless. It fits that vintage vibe. You guys know what I did with my model. I put the Spidell bracelet on it and that made it elastic. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show it to you guys before I leave. Now you can't have a lineup without having it all gold. That's also what he did. Black dial for perfect contrast. I believe there's also models with the gold dial as well. I don't know if that's still in rotation or production. I know there's like a Pogue style one, but I'm talking about all gold. But this black and gold contrast, fantastic, fantastic. And again, you have that taper here and everything else. And then all the straps, like he's got rubber straps for this. Like if you wanted to get a black rubber strap, he has that. This is another metric color. You guys know I went with the classic colorway, right? I went with that classic color. Nah, I'm showing. This one's nice. This one's nice. So a little bit of everything for everyone, right? If that's not your favorite color, we got this one, we got that one, and everything is complementary. Everything is put together very well. Everything is linear with the actual quality. That's what I love the most about it. Now, here's one thing that most people don't notice, and I didn't notice this myself, and I just watched a video with Mark from Island Watch. He said he didn't notice that this had a reflective on the rehaut, right? On top of the rehaut, if you will. It's hard to pick up on camera, but it is like a mirror effect. And that's one of the fantastic things that I like about it, for sure. Yeah, Oscar, vintage vibe for sure. Vintage vibe for sure. And that's why I went with the bracelet that I have on mine, bro, because nothing says more vintage than this elastic bracelet, right? Let me take this off so I can show you guys what I'm doing. Hold on one second.
So that's why I'm saying that one, and I would probably get your order in because I know.
All right, check it out. This is what I did to mine. You guys know from my lives, but Spidell for the stretchy bracelets, man, definitely give. Now here's the thing that I really like the most: the vents on the back of the watch match the outside of the bracelet itself, so it kind of makes it like a continuous thing, and that's what I love about it the most. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some other colorways. Let me know if you guys want to see any specific watches from Brew while I'm here. I don't want to be here too long, and I don't want to be, because I don't want to be too loud. But this is the blue colorway dial to the metric, retro vibe. No, I'm good. I'm good. Very nice. Let's move on. I want to move on to the automatic Swiss movement that he came out with, and I believe those are. Okay, so then we have, of course, my watch, the one that I purchased. Right? What I like is that they actually have these on the FKM rubber, right? Super supple, still has the taper, still has quick release. I actually have two colors of this. I have the black and the teal I believe, right? Yeah, wife's giving me the head nod. Actually, I have this colorway on it for one. That pulls out the teal in that chapter ring, right? Very, very nice. So you guys can see it on bracelet. And this is the FKM. I also have it on this black. So it's fantastic that they already had this kind of set up. It was meant to be. Price on these. Price. Right here. Metric. $475. Now here's the deal. I know some people are going to have some problems with going with that kind of price point for a quartz movement, right? You got to get off that stool. And I'll tell you why. Because if you go chronograph on a mechanical, you're not going to be anywhere near this price, number one. Number two, it's a VK68 Mecha Quartz. So it's going to be the best of both worlds. You're going to have that quartz timing, and then you're going to have that module on top of it for that smooth sweep. Let me show you guys what I mean. Click this. You get that smooth sweep, right? So you're getting the little bit of best of both worlds. And that price point, here's the deal. I talk about this often. You have to value design. You have to value, like, realize that Jonathan sat at a coffee shop, put pen to pad, and did this all from his imagination. Then he went out to find places to do them specifically to his designs and specifications. All of this is gonna cost, right? And one of the biggest things when I talk to you guys tell me about how you want something different. You want something that's gonna have its own language. You have to put value, can you take this, man? You have to put value on having that kind of design and having that, personal touch. And that's one of the things that he was able to achieve, right? One of the hardest things to do, especially as a web-based brand, right? I don't say micro. Micro's disrespectful. You're either an independent brand or you're a web-based brand, right? Watch enthusiast brand or website brand. But I like to use it for the web-based brand. And here's the deal. You have to be able to put value in speaking that language. He has fantastic designers. I think Dominica is his designer. She does a fantastic job helping him out with those colorways within all the models, if you will, the configuration. And like I said before, being able to spot this watch from a mile away, being able to say, hey, I know that's a Brew. And here's the deal. When you look at this dial and you see, you can't even see the logo on here, right? It's almost like an Easter egg on the right. However, anybody from a mile away knows that this is Brew. That's the hardest thing that you can do when you're starting a watch company, and it's the most successful thing that you want to do, having your own identity, having your own design, and moving through that. Now, we know that he's going to go to Swiss-made movements, right? I think that, like I said before, he has a lot in the chamber that he's going to be releasing very soon. I think that this was just to test the waters. He's had phenomenal success with the NH35 off rip. A couple months later, Swiss. Now here's the deal. Let me show you guys the Swiss watch that I'm talking about. This is the Swiss watch, yeah? So check this out. I want you guys to really appreciate what we're talking about on the dial here. The indexes is what really, and I think he called them mountaintops, right? I think he called them mountaintops on the indexes. You have to see this in person to really, really appreciate it. I'm doing the best I can with the angles that we got here. But this is a fantastic design. Now, here's the deal, 8.5 millimeters, yeah? So even thinner than the 1075 that you're getting out of the quartz. Hand wound, screw down crown, 50 meters, still has that slip mechanism in the back. You have a peekaboo exhibition case back. I'm pretty sure, I haven't confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that this is sapphire. Alex, sapphire in the back of this case? I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Yeah, so sapphire, so I call this a sapphire sandwich, right? You have the sapphire in the back, sapphire in the front. You can appreciate the movement all together. Fantastic. And obviously, he removed the rotor on here, most likely to achieve the thinness of it. So 8.5 millimeters is exactly what we're gonna get out of that. Price point for anybody that's wondering, $875, right? $875 Salida, hand wound, yes, Oscar. This is a hand wound, screw down crown, but you still have that barrel protection so you don't overwind when you screw this down. But it is still, listen, it's still a dress watch at the end of the day, 50 meters of water resistance. And I had to guess, this is one of those true 50 meters, not like those 50 meters, but it's splashed. This is a true 50 meters for sure, right? So this is a fantastic watch. You really have to see the finishing. Matter of fact, let's remove the, there should be a quick release on here. Here we go. Let's remove that because you guys got to really appreciate this movement. Check that out. So, blued screws, right? Custom rotor, branding. This is a beautiful movement. This is a beautiful movement. This is worth, if you love Brew and you love the design, this is fantastic. This is something to grow old with. And who the heck doesn't know how to service a Salida at this point, right? You could go to any watchmaker. I'm sure Jonathan has things in line for you guys to service the watches. So, I mean, an investment, you know, something that you could probably pass down. And look, a Salida movement's not that expensive. We're talking about $2 and change, maybe 300 plus service. So this watch could stay with you forever. But at the end of the day, any watchmaker could service this watch. So fantastic. And I like that he did a huge exhibition back because you have to appreciate the entire movement in the back, especially when you have blued screws. You have a decorated rotor on here. Oh, no, I'm saying rotor. It looks like a rotor, it's not a rotor. This is a hand wind only, but you guys can see the actual bridge of the train. It almost looks like a rotor, but it's not. But anyway, fantastic, fantastic. And we're gonna put that back together, but I only have one hand. So put that to the side for now. Where can we go from here? So cool, this is perfect. From here, I'm gonna show you guys the watch that I'm walking out with today. And this is the fantastic watch that I'm walking out today, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why is because I lost my all-lume dial. Here comes the wife with the Noctua. The Noctua. Yeah, she stole that. That's her watch now. So it gave me an it gave me an excuse to go with this all-lume dial. And this is fantastic. I got your reflection in the mirror. Sorry. This is the watch I'm leaving with. And just to appreciate the lume, I think we have a little lume light under here. Let's see. It's hard for you to catch the lume, but you guys know the deal, man. We're gonna do a full-faced review. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little light in here, but this is fantastic. Let me get this on wrist. Hold this, baby. Can you record me? Get my pretty face back on camera. Had to do it. Had to do it. And look, she took my all-lume dial, so that just gave me an excuse to buy another one. That works out in my favor, I think. And it's still in the home, so shout out to JP Noctua Watches, fantastic brand owner out in Canada. So let's put this on wrist. And we're gonna wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be that guy. I don't mind being that guy for a little while, but 7 1/4 inch wrist for reference. We're gonna grab a couple straps to swap out. Fantastic, all lume dial. I don't know if we could get the lume. There's too much lighting in here, but you guys know I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna take this thing apart, not literally. And then we'll do a review video, deep dive, where I could show you guys lume shots and everything else. So let's go outside and wrap things up.
We have a fourth color made.
And let these people be able to enjoy the pop-up shop that's here. Let's go outside. I'm gonna come back in just to say bye. I guess let's switch places. Let me have that in the background. Uh-oh.
We came outside and basic service.
I don't know. What happened? It can't be the service. I have full service.
It just turned green when we came out.
Oh, can you guys still see everything clear? Can you guys still see everything clear? There we go. Can you guys still see me? The background is crazy right now. Oscar, the retrograph, I don't know if that was 42 millimeters. You can't see anything, Oscar? Is it all blank? Let me know. Oh, there we go. You hit one of the settings. Oscar, I'm not sure if that was a 42 millimeters, to be honest with you. It had a loom down. That's all I needed to pull the trigger on that. But I definitely will check in the description. In the description, I have the location for this event. I have the video that he did last time for the pop-up shop. Yeah, I know, Oscar. There was a settings and I had no idea. Green screen is on. Trap Vision 3D, the show must go on, bro. You know how we do. So, babe, record me. So, where was I? Yeah, all of the information of the pop-up shop is in the description. Check that out. I also have my live talking about this new watch that I have. We're gonna do a deep dive review on that as well eventually. I got a new watch from them now. See, I already know that Brew's gonna be one of those companies for me over time, because I have the wife here, gotta be careful. Over time, I could collect one of every collection. He's just one of those guys that has diversity within his designs. Yes, it's because he's from New York and I am too. And I told you guys, represent the actual brands that are in your backyard right now. That's very important. So all the information is in the description of location. Not deep, but we did a live stream of the Brew brand and the background and Jonathan's actual story to getting to where he is today. So if you have some time after this live and you want to check that out as well. We have the Brew video that Jonathan did exclusively for his company in there as well. Listen, it's all about Brew today. So if you have some time, go in the description. I've got the website on there. I've got the location of where we are right now. It's super intimate, but you have a long time to appreciate it, right? He's doing this pop-up shop for a couple of months now. So if you really wanted to get hands-on, and if you've ever been to a wind-up, you know that it's difficult to get into some tables. Even though he's one of the ones that has the bigger lemonade stand at the show, it's still a lot of people at wind-up and everything else. So to be able to have this, if you're in the New York area, really get the time to ask all the questions from the staff. Unfortunately, like I said, Jonathan is away. So if you were looking to do that, maybe call in and see or send a message to them to see when he's gonna be back, because he's doing this for a long time and you should be able to catch him on that eventually. But I'm gonna land this plane. My wife loves that slogan. I'm gonna check up on chat and and then we're gonna boogie out of here. I hope you guys appreciated this. Random Rob is big into Brew brand watches. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was watching a couple of his videos, as a matter of fact. The show must go on. Exactly, Travis. No matter what happens, man. Even if you have to work through a background. That's crazy. Let me see if I missed anything prior. I think you guys are all pretty much good. I did miss Vincent H. Thank you for joining me. All right, guys, we're gonna walk around the city, enjoy ourselves, man. But yeah, this was definitely worth it. You could definitely get hands-on, take your time with the watches, really see the quality in which he's putting out there. But as always, I appreciate you guys for spending your most valuable asset, which is time, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.